All right, we are live. All right. Peace and love, family. What's going on? It is your boy Mario Quinn, and we're here with yet another episode of the Level Up Podcast. This is episode 109, and I must say, family, I'm super excited for today. I hope everyone had a really productive Monday. I know that I did for sure. But yeah, I hope you guys had a really positive and productive day. And we're ready to rock this evening. I have a very special guest on the show, someone that we never really met before, but we like in passing a lot. And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome my very special guest, Leila Rhodes. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. Thank you for having me
here. No
here.
problem.
It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely. And thank you again. I apologize. We're starting a little late. Had a couple technical difficulties and whatnot, but I appreciate your patience and everything like that. But enough of that. Let's talk about who you are and what makes you special and what it is that you do here in the city of Pittsburgh.
Okay. So just like basically, I'm a musician. I play guitar, I sing, and I produce.
Okay.
Basically, I'd say what kind of makes me special in a way, like in Pittsburgh, is that like I'd rather be a producer first, and then I kind of take the artist part, and that's a different aspect, but the production for other people is what really keeps me like in it.
That's dope. And you know what's crazy? We had an event here back in the day called For the Producer, and one of the things that I noticed, I was like, we had two of them, I think. One of the things I noticed is like we didn't have any female producers represented, like at all at both events. And I'm like, I was like, do you even see female producers like that? So that's really dope that you do that. Can you talk a little bit about kind of how you got into producing and got into music?
Yeah, I used to play violin growing up, so like I used to want to be a composer.
Okay.
So I always thought that I was gonna have to be, like writing like different compositions out and things like that. And then I had some friends that were like into production probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and I'm like, wait, I want to do that. Like like
that's cool.
That was all the sheet music away. And then I started taking guitar more seriously. So that's like my main instrument. So
sweet.
That's pretty much what got me started.
So how would you like, in terms of producing, how would you describe your style? Are you like a versatile producer? Do you do like hip hop, trap, all that type stuff?
I make hip hop, trap, funk, soul, jazz, blues. So yeah, I'm very versatile because I'm a person. I don't like to just stay on one angle. I like to kind of see music from every angle that I like.
I love it. That's really dope. So I know I'm gonna be hitting up for beats.
Hey, come on! I made a beat for Sahar today.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, babe. I gotta hear that. I want to hear that. I'm gonna hear that when I go home. Yes. That's so dope. So talk a little bit. We kind of touched on the producer side, but you are like an actual guitarist. You sing, songwriter, etc. Can you talk about that part of the journey?
Okay. To me, that's like the most, I guess, humbling part of the journey because that's the mountain. I used to want to be a guitar player. I've given up 6 or 7 times. Right. And then, it wasn't until a few years ago that I was like, I'm going up this mountain no matter what it's taking. I'm getting, and I still have a ways to go. But the guitar songwriting part, that's the bread and butter of like the hard part of my journey.
I love it. So what's something big that you're like currently working on that you're like really excited about?
I just did a performance with the Steel City Deaf Club. They actually just sent me over the audio that's coming out in 2 weeks. So like we did a live rehearsal at their studio. It's really cool. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, that's cool. So you said that's the Steel City what?
Deaf Club.
Deaf? As a DEAF or deaf?
Like deaf, like dead.
Like dead. Done. Okay. Yeah. Who they? I don't know who they
are. They're a collective of people. They work with different musicians. Okay. Like they work with like a lot of like indie rock artists and like just different genres. But that's why they were telling me it was interesting to have me down there because it was something different than what they were used to doing. Okay. But they reached out and they just help people record live music.
Do you have any idea what the significance of the deaf part?
No, to be honest,
I'm gonna be like, I don't know if I want to work a job.
Yeah, because when it first came up, I said, "What is this?" Right. And then I was, but once I got to like actually talk to them, get to know about their mission and stuff, I was like, okay, I feel grounded in being here. Yeah,
that is dope. Heck yeah. So do you have in terms of your music, do you have like projects out right now?
Currently working on my next EP. I dropped my debut album last year. Okay. So that's on all platforms. But right now I'm working on like pushing my new single and then dropping my EP soon.
Okay, word. EP, you got a name for it?
Not yet.
No?
No. Like
okay, what like in terms of you know, like what you're trying to go for with the EP, like what's like the feel? What's the difference? You know what I mean?
The main difference, like, I'll say, like with my debut album, I really did not want to get typecast as an artist because a lot of people would hear me play live and do blues covers, so they expected me to be, you know, one thing. So I did pretty much I did a 12-song project, and almost every single one is a different genre.
You gotta do that.
Yeah, you know, the EP is more confined. I really love classic hip hop, you know, taking soul samples and flipping them. So that's something that I do a lot more on this. Just taking samples straight up, you know. No bells and whistles, no extra production, just real simple beats that sound really good on this project.
He ain't in here because he was. So we work with a producer. He's like the opposite. He's like, I'm gonna put all the bells and whistles and explosions in there and sirens and everything.
That's necessary. And that's
cool, yeah. But you know, we were like, man, we just wish we could just get like a simple, clean, like fresh, like boom bap style type beat. You know, it's hard like sometimes with certain producers to get that like simplicity, because you know there's a lot of like being simple is in a lot of ways is better, you know what I mean, because it's easier to listen to, you know what I'm saying? So that's dope. All right, so what can you describe, okay, this is a good one. Speaking of performances, what do you remember about the first time you performed?
My hands shaking crazy while I was holding my guitar.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like that was only 3 years ago when I did my first like live performance in front of people, and it was like, I don't know, it's like when you first do it, it's like you think that you gotta like tackle a lion or something, and you just got all these fears, and then still I get some stage fright, but it's nothing like it used to be. So that
I feel you.
Used to be it.
I used to be the forget my line guy, and I'm I'm like, why? No, and I practiced it every day, and I'm like, why did I forget my freaking line? But no, I feel like a little bit of nervousness is necessary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In terms of like, you know, like if you're not a little bit nervous, then it's not really worth doing.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, you know. Real. But you know, yeah, that's dope. Cool. So what can you describe a time that you had to think outside of the box for a performance?
Let's see. I had to think outside of the box. I'd probably say I used to do production. I sometimes still do it, but like production off of my laptop to do like all my live loops and stuff. I got to a performance. My laptop was at home. I said, dang. Like, you know. So
she left the laptop at home a week.
Yeah, so I just had to like put on some YouTube backing beats and me and my guitar, kind of make it something. Do it together real quick.
Hey, sometimes sometimes you gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because anything could happen, and it could be out of your control. Like where like you're like, yo, I sent like, you know, I sent my beats. A lot of places want you to send your backing tracks ahead of time, and then they're like, oh, I don't have them.
They didn't get them at the show. Yeah.
You know, you gotta bust an acapella real quick.
For real. Now you got a beatbox from me. I got my beat.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
That's dope. So, how would in terms of like how you create, what would you say? Break down like what your creative process looks like, or like what is a day in the studio with Leila Rhodes look like?
It depends on the day. Like for me, I'm a sporadic creator, and I'm proud of that. It took me a while to be proud of that because I don't really go into the studio like I'm gonna write a hit song today. Oh, where's my keyboard? I have this melody in my head. I'll sit on my keyboard until I find something that I like. I could be sitting there for 10 minutes. I could be sitting there for 3 hours. But I sit until I find, like that's like the seed that creates the whole song or whatever I'm making.
Right.
And I don't try to like put no real timeline to it. Real like, you know, I let myself just.
Now, do you have like your own, like, I'm assuming since you're a producer, you have your own like setup and everything, like at your crib or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you had have you like done stuff at other studios? Like,
yeah.
Okay. Because I find like, because my style, because I can only speak for myself, is like, I'm weird. I don't like writing things ahead of time.
Sure.
Like it's like I need to feel the vibe of what we're doing, and like you know, I like to write it right there in the studio. But of course, studio time costs money. Have you like run into that problem before, or like
just as far as like you get into the studio and then you got to create in that moment? Yes, I did that. I have a friend. His name is Ty Danzuso. Shout out to Ty. That's my boy, homie. and we've been making music together for a few years. And I'm on one of his songs called Superheroes. He asked me to write a verse. I didn't write the verse until I got in the booth. I was like, yeah, maybe I should have did that a little different. Right. So yeah, definitely had some of them moments.
Right. No, I feel like it can work sometimes, like especially like because sometimes like I'll just freestyle. I'm like, oh, that was good. That actually turned out all right. But then sometimes I'm like, I should have wrote this ahead of time. You know what I mean? So
that's rough. I had some of them too.
Right. No, I feel you. So let's go back. Let's think about the start of your journey. All the lessons you've learned in life and just things you've had to overcome and all of that. If there was a way that you can go back, right? What do you wish was something that you knew when you started out that you didn't know?
I probably would say from the way back is that it's possible to be a professional musician. Because that was one of the biggest like negative things that used to just hold me back. Like, you can't do it. You're not gonna make enough money. All the little things that aren't even your own ideas. They be other people's.
It's always other people. They're like, that's not something you can fall back on and all that. Yeah. No, that's the realest answer I've gotten to that question. Because it's like the negative self-talk for a lot of people. Yeah, that's what stops them from doing what they want to do. Yeah. So it's like, just knowing like, anything you want to do is possible if you put in the work. You know what I mean? And you practice. They say practice makes perfect. I say practice makes permanent. You feel me?
I like that.
Yeah. So all right. So we're gonna lighten it up. I feel like I gave you a bunch of hard questions.
No, I like these questions. Making me think.
Yeah, but all right. So I'll do a fun one first. Okay. What TV character do you most identify with and why?
Oh, I'm like, dang, I don't know if I watch enough TV to give an accurate answer to this. I would probably say, dang, you're not going in a spot. When was the last show that I watch?
Is there? I mean, like
I've seen it
like I feel like I was like the Black Power Ranger. You know what I'm saying? Like I always go like way back when I like
if
actually
I go way back, I'll probably
TV.
Be Danny Phantom.
Right. Ooh, I love it.
That was that shit.
That's dope. Heck yeah. All right. Fun question, a little more serious. Ready?
Okay.
All right. So, if an investor wrote you a check for $100,000, how would you use the money?
Okay. First, I'm giving me a whip. No more busts. You feel me? Like, I'm just gonna keep it.
That's hell yeah.
And then
I love it.
I got a few like business ideas. Like I cook too, so I want to own my own restaurant. I don't want to have my own restaurant, being there every day, but I want to tell people, like, you do that.
Right.
I'm gonna pay you good.
I'm the owner.
Yeah.
Give me the money.
So then invested in that. Invested in my music studio. Actually get a professionally recorded project. Travel somewhere. I'd be eating some good food.
Right.
Yeah.
Eating good, man. Please. I love it. That's dope. Heck yeah, those are all great things. Sweet. All right, more serious. You ready?
Yes.
So, Leila, what would you say is the most important thing you've learned in your life so far?
In my life so far, I'd probably say that individuality as like self-expression is the most important. Being yourself. No matter what you do, if you're trying to copy somebody else or you're being inauthentic, it's going to fly. Like, no matter what, you can uphold it for so long, but it's just like you're not following your own destiny purpose. So I
feel that. I mean, I've experienced it personally and like as a victim, I guess. You know what I mean? And it's just like, being in that place doesn't even feel good. Like when you're like, you bullshitting, like, 'cause I've done it in the past, and I'm like, this doesn't even feel good. I remember one time I had this lie going, and I had forgot that I said this lie to this person, and then the same kind of conversation came up, and I was like, yeah, that never happened to me, and they were like, bro, you said one time that. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. So from that day on, I'm like, I gotta keep it a bean, and like, yeah, man, when you're like really real to who you are. You kind of drop blockages and the gates of abundance opens up. Like you just start getting blessed. Like, and two, like people, you got to know that like you are worth it, man. I say that all the time to people. Like, yo, you're worth it. You have to believe that yourself. Like, exactly who you are is perfect. You know what I mean? And,
that's real.
You know, as long as you're not hurting nobody.
You know
what I'm saying. Don't hurt nobody.
For real, don't be doing no extras.
Right? Don't be doing no extras. Let's see. Family, if you're just now tuning in, this is episode 109 of the Level Up Podcast. All those on our Facebook and YouTube Live, thank you so much for tuning in. We have Leila Rhodes in the building. Singer, songwriter, guitarist, producer, Jill of all trades, businesswoman, you name it. Heck yeah. All right, so let's think of a scenario. And I got two scenario type questions. But if you could have dinner with any three people, alive or transition,
okay,
who would it be and why?
Okay, so first would be Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Because just one of the best artists of all time. You feel me? Like,
right.
have so many questions. You feel me? Like, also probably Jimi Hendrix. Are there any alive people I want to talk to?
Right.
Yeah. I'm sitting here like, and probably James Brown.
Those are all like really, really good people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who. I don't know. I couldn't answer that for myself. There's so many people I want to meet.
You know, that's why I'm like, oh.
You said Don Cheadle. I hate you.
Yeah.
They say I look like Don Cheadle, so that's
the joke.
That's the joke. I'm like, I hate y'all. Okay, you look like Mario Quinn. Yeah, you already know. It'd be Gary V, Michael Jackson for sure, and maybe like Jay-Z.
Yeah,
definitely have dinner with Jay-Z for sure.
Drake.
Drake. I feel like Drake would annoy me. I like him, but like if you ever like pay attention to his real person, I feel like he's low key like in your face annoying.
For real, yeah.
Like just the energy, Right.
Yeah.
He's like, bro. You ever see that meme with him? Like, and he was in somebody's ear, and he was like, like laughing all extra hard. I'm like, bro, if you don't get out of my face with that hot ass laugh,
right? Be real hard in the songs.
Right.
As soon as the mic drop, they be all different.
Right. Different as hell. That's funny. Sweet. So who's some? Let's name some artists or people that you've had the opportunity to work with, and who are some artists that you would like to work with? Whether they're maybe local, famous, indie, whatever.
Okay. Let's see. I say like artists that I have worked with that I really like, love and respect. Lamar Riddick, he's a rapper from West Virginia.
Okay.
His name is Lamar because he rap like Kendrick. He be going stupid with purpose too. So like, yeah, he's tight for real. And then my boy, of course, Ty Danzusa. We make songs together all the time. Inez, she's also incredible, vocalist, producer, engineer, that's just other people that I've worked with. Let's see. Oh, my little sister, Stacia Vaughn.
Oh
yeah, that's my sister. She's made me so proud with her songwriting and everything.
She's dope.
She's dope. That's what said she came out the gate dope. Yeah. That's why I'm just like,
get it.
Like, oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah, artists that I would like to work with, like some of my favorite aspiring artists that I want to work with, or not aspiring artists, they are artists. Like I'd probably say like Gary Clark Jr., Anderson .Paak, Miguel, Bruno Mars.
Yes, all good people.
Yeah, Melanie Faye, incredible guitar player. Eric Gales, another incredible guitar player. Yeah, I got kind of like I could be sitting here.
Right.
So,
these artists.
But yeah, those are just some of the ones that come to mind as like dream goals.
Right. Well, that's big. So let's look into the future a little bit. If you had to think of, let's say, the next 5 years for yourself, in terms of like career and life, what do you aspire to be? Next 5 years, what's the plan?
Definitely signed. I don't plan on being unsigned forever.
Right.
So just, and not even on the sense of like I need a label to have fulfillment because I'm fulfilled as I am, but like more so like that's just one of the goals because I know if I check that box, I can check many other boxes. Right. Like in 5 years, owning my own house, so I can paint on every wall and bang on every floor. Like
nobody gonna say
you feel me in my house. So like that. Just making sure that I can support my family. I have younger siblings and making sure that they're stable and solid in whatever they want to do. Touring the world. I'm trying to play everywhere.
I love it.
Yeah. So Those are just some of the things that come to mind. Being a better guitar player, better artist, better person.
That's the key. I just saw. I shared it because anytime I see something I like, I just share it. I don't know why. But anyway, I saw this thing. It was Kevin Hart, and he was like, be better than you were last week. It's like, just try that. And I was like, that's really dope. You know what I'm saying? And I shared it, and it's like, that my plan for the future is always like, just even if it's just a little bit at a time, to be a little bit better. Oh my God. So hard. She just sent us the picture I was talking about of Drake.
Yeah. Bro.
Hey, yo. I think that's Rihanna. He looked like he in Rihanna's face.
Oh, he in her ear at that. He can't be in her ear.
He look crazy. Look at this picture.
He not worthy.
That's what I was like.
He's off that Duce at the club. Like, right. Her ear loud.
He's like, yo, that's the funniest meme in the world. Oh man. Oh, okay, I had to get that laugh out. All right, so family, if you're now tuning in episode 109, please feel free to leave a comment. If you have a question for Leila that you'd like me to ask, hop on, leave a comment, show some love, hit some like buttons, some hearts, you name it. All right, cool. Got another fun question for you. Okay. You're on a deserted island.
Okay.
You already have food, you have water, and you have shelter. Okay. What 3 personal items are a must-have? And remember, you're on the deserted island.
But I got food.
Yes.
Do they have electricity?
I ain't say that.
Probably not. Oh, okay. So definitely my guitar.
Okay.
I probably say a few books and not Mary Jane.
Gotta have that. I go crazy, especially if you was by yourself.
I'm telling you.
With some music, but it'd probably be nice for like a good couple of weeks, and you'd be like, all right.
Yeah, then it's like, okay, yeah.
I need some people.
That's real.
All right, so on the same kind of note, not mystery, this is real life. How would you describe the perfect vacation?
The perfect vacation, solo. No, I'm just kidding. I be by myself. I be eating a lot of food and resting and sightseeing, like doing like different things that I never did before.
Nice. Yeah. Now, are you a foodie? Like, do you eat
People
everything?
Be thinking because I'm vegan.
You're
a
vegan
foodie.
Okay.
But they be thinking, oh, she gonna eat a piece of lettuce and grass. No, I be eating too. Like, for real.
You gotta know what's out. There's so many like exotic fruits and vegetables that we don't even get here in America.
For real.
That like I be watching what's her name? Maya, the singer, on Instagram, like just looking at all the food she be making. She's like fully raw vegan too.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, that look good as hell. I'm like, what kind of fruit is that? I've never seen that shit. The only thing I recognize is like the big old jackfruits. I'm like, okay, I know what that is. You know what I'm saying? There's somebody making noise in the background. No, that's dope. It's a dope vacation by myself. I wouldn't want to be. I gotta be with the wifey, for the vacation somewhere in Jamaica, somewhere warm where you can smoke weed.
Sun, the ganja.
Right, with the ganja. All right. You kind of already answered that. I'm not gonna do that. Work. All right, let's play a game. All right, you're vegan, so I gotta not do a food one. All right. This game is called Fact or Opinion. Okay. And basically, I'm gonna say a statement, and you tell me if it's a fact or an opinion, and your reasoning. Okay. Okay, an artist can make it solely on their own. Fact or opinion?
I say that's an opinion. Yeah.
Can you unpack that?
Yeah, because I think even that statement, like, I had to like face that a few times where I would be wanting to do everything by myself. But I'm like, even if I could do everything by myself perfectly, who would be listening if I was just by myself? If you were a person on an island, like you said, would you really still be trying to make all of these things? And then you'd be like,
you need inspiration.
Yeah.
Right? No, I feel you. And I feel like, too, like, a lot of people, some people, not a lot of people, but some people are like they're like not comfortable with asking for help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're trying to do something, but it's like it's totally okay to get help from people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even like the most, you could ask any like billionaire, like, yo, did you get here all by yourself? They're gonna be like, no, I had a mentor, or this one, I met this one person and they said this one thing. You know what I mean? Like any interaction can be helpful. I wrote that knowing that that would be the answer. I just, like to get people's opinions. All right, next one. Retail is better than online. Fact or opinion?
When they open the dressing rooms back up, I'll say yes. Yeah. But in the meantime, made no difference. I got to try it on at home.
Right.
Maybe send it back.
Yeah, it's just, it back. It's just, you get anything from China, you better order that drink 2 sizes bigger.
2 sizes bigger, 2 months before you need it.
Yeah. Like, what did I buy? Yo, I didn't even get it. I didn't even get it. Yo. It was from this place in China. I bought it like a year ago, and it was like it was one of those like little punching bags with the arm thing that swings around. And I was like, "Ooh, I want that." Paid for it and everything. Got a confirmation. And I'm just sitting there like, yo, where is this thing at? It still hasn't come. And it's been almost a year.
That's
like,
crazy.
Almost a year, yeah.
And it might still be on the way.
Right. I swear. Like, I hope it comes. I'll be so happy if it just randomly comes. All right. So, all right. I got to do this one, this or that, just because I want to know your opinion on this. 2 of them. 2 this or that's. Are you ready? Yeah, okay. So, no more fact or opinion. These are this or that.
Gotcha.
Okay. Grits with salt or grits with sugar?
Your wife just asked me this yesterday. Grits with salt. Some butter, some cheese, some salt.
Yes. Yes. Because you can't make shrimp and grits with sugar in it.
Thank you.
Okay.
I want one of my exes to see this. No grits in your sugar. Because we had this debate for like days.
That's
days
for cream of wheat.
Days. You feel me?
Oatmeal and
Get
stuff
you
like
some cream of wheat. What's wrong with you? Sick.
Right. I'm like, butter, salt, pepper, hot sauce sometimes.
Just a little thing.
Right. All right. Okay. This or that. Team iPhone or team Android?
I'd be team Apple products, but I'm team Android on my phone.
Yes. That's how I am. Because I got the MacBook, y'all.
I
like the MacBook. It's nice. It's nice.
I like the MacBook.
I use Logic. I use all that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But I like my Android phone. It's nice. It works better. It's easier to navigate.
When a new one comes out, my shit ain't just going to break.
Right.
That's happened to me, 4 times now? I said, no, it's time to just switch.
Right. All right, we got a question coming in from Wifey. She's my number 1 fan, as you can tell. Like, no. All right, so she says, what types of elements do you like to experiment with in your music? Are there other genres you want to explore?
I say like element-wise, like instruments. I always like to experiment with stuff that I hear in like some like old soul songs or like just different little things. Like I'm like, oh, they got like a harp. I don't know how to play the harp, but I'll sample the harp and then put that in like, And yes, definitely wanted to explore different genres. Like I grew up listening to basically all rock music. Like my parents just was like, what's wrong with you? Like, But then eventually rock turned into classic hip hop and turned into like neo soul, turned into blues, turned into jazz. So yeah, definitely. I don't know if I'm gonna have a country song one day.
Right. See, I like country, but I don't like it. It's just like it's the twang. Like, I like
blues.
Yeah, I like blues and stuff. Like I don't like the weird harmonies.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Just the
I be trying.
It's the trying. But there's a couple joints.
Yeah, the ones that be relatable.
Yeah, you be like, all right. And then there's like, I like the the ones that like kind of cross with like hip hop sometimes. Like those ones, I'm like, okay, that's all right.
Like the songs flow out of you.
Yeah, that type of stuff. I'm like, that's all right. I can't be too mad at that. All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna ask one of my most important questions as we're winding down here again. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me again.
For joining me. You all right, Marie? You okay? Oh, you think I'm gonna ask that one? No, I don't ask that one no more. That's not. I took that out.
Are you saying yes?
No, I took that out. He's making fun of me. Yes. No, I took that one out. It's over for that. Okay. All right. So I want because the reason why we do this podcast is because my goal is to highlight people here in the city that do really, really dope stuff that are, in my mind, an inspiration to others. And so I always ask, if there's somebody, especially like a young person, I feel like representation is key, like a young Black girl or, a young Black boy who wants to, or anybody, but, specific, but anybody like who wants to get into art, who wants to get into music, wants to follow their dreams. Like, what advice would you give to that person?
Follow your own heart. Always ask what advice people are giving to you. Ask why they're giving it to you too. Don't just take it. No matter what age you are, be your parents.
That's fire. Wow. That's dope. Like, ask why they're giving you advice. Wow. Wow. I was gonna say, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. That's pretty much all I was gonna say.
Word. All right, so before we get off, if there's is there anybody out there that you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to my mama, because I'm gonna do that every time.
Yeah.
And shout out to Sahar. Thank you for this opportunity. Awesome. Shout out to you and everybody here at Level Up.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you guys having me here. This has been really cool.
No doubt. Thank you so much. Getting a couple slow snaps. All right, so before we get off, if there's anybody out there that wants to listen to your music, they want to hit you up for beats or collaborate or whatever, let them know where they can find you on the internet.
Yes, I'm on all platforms for like streaming my stuff. If you're an artist and you're looking for some beats and like different genres and stuff, just you can email me at lailarhodesmusic@gmail.com. And then or like DM me on Instagram at Leila Rhodes Music stuff. I reply most of the time, depending on what the subject is. That's pretty much it.
Love it. Awesome. Well, family, you can find your boy Mario Quinn at The Mind of Quinn on all social media platforms. Please also follow Level Up Studios at Level Up PGH, and of course leveluppgh.com. Check out all of our classes. We have after school programs for kids. We have dance classes, art classes, free studio time for youth and adults. So check us out. Again, that's leveluppgh.com. We also have a fitness class that I teach. So we do strength conditioning and, of course, some boxing, pad work, and footwork and stuff like that. So if you want to learn how to throw a punch correctly, come see your boy. But yeah, this has been episode 109 of the Level Up Podcast. I'm your host, Mario Quinn. Leila Rhodes, our special guest, and we are out, Marie. We are. He really gonna sit there. We're gonna act like the news. Out on the news.
When it be act like they doing stuff, type in.
Right, anything. All right, peace, family. Just hit stop.
No, just
hit stop.
It wasn't even on the screen. There we go.
Just hit stop.